11 finger tricks that every cuber should know. Or, if you don't already know them, now's the time to learn them. Pretty much whatever level you are, there should be at least one thing in this video that could help you. So, enjoy! U2 flicks is probably one of the most important finger tricks that many cubers just haven't learned. Not only will it speed up all of your ALGs and even your F2L, maybe even reducing your average times by a whole second, but ALGs like this G-perm become accessible to you simply by knowing how to do a U2 flick because the double flick shows up so many times. And it can also improve all of your other ALGs including Soon, Anti-Soon, H-perm, etc. Normally you'd have to re-grip to do an F-turn, or you just do it with your thumb. But if your fingers are on the top layer and your thumb is on the bottom layer, then your other hand can just do the F-turn without a re-grip. This is mostly important during J-perms and Y-perms, but you can find it in a variety of other ALGs too. This type of U-turn is very awkward at first, but it's very useful. For example, if you're doing a sexy move during F2L and your thumb is already on the F face, then this makes it so that you do not have to re-grip. You can also implement it in your ALGs, such as T-perm, in order to make them flow better and to reduce the number of re-grips. Using the awkward U flick and then a middle finger turn right afterwards, you can really quickly do specifically the moves RU, R', U. For example, in the beginning of Soon and in the beginning of some other OLLs. Here's an F-perm where the ending is RU, R', U. F-turn with your thumb is one of the most obvious finger tricks, but you should be careful with when you use it. For example, the F-turn in J-perm is probably better done using your other index finger without re-gripping, rather than using your thumb. This turn could be very useful during F2L though, to reduce a re-grip. When you first try doing this finger trick, you might find that you get two layers to move at once. The trick is to put your pinky underneath the S layer so that it doesn't move. You can improve a lot of your ALGs by reducing re-grips doing this so that you don't have to turn the F face by moving your entire hand. This move is pretty awkward. You turn the U layer one way but using the opposite hand that you would normally do it with. This is particularly useful during F2L because you can do a lot of U-turns without actually re-gripping. You could also implement it into some of your ALGs, such as this one. If you struggle with ALGs that use the D layer a lot, you should probably practice this move. The reverse D flick is the only way to get your E-perm very fast. And it can be used in a lot of other ZBLLs, one of the R-perms, etc. D2 flicks are one of the most awkward flicks to learn. You'll see that here I do with my ring finger and then pinky, but you can also do pinky into ring finger as I now show. If you do one-handed R2 flicks, you'll probably already know this move, and it's pretty much only important during A-perms and during the cross when you need to align the cross at the end. You should already know this reverse U finger trick if you do one-handed solving. It's very situational, but it can help speed up some of your ALGs. For example, the U-perm. However, this isn't the U-perm I use, so here's another way to do U-perm by implementing this finger trick. An A-perm followed by a U-prime AUF is very awkward to do with any other finger trick other than this reverse flick. And you can see that it is very fast. If you want your H-perms and Z-perms to be fast, you have to know how to do the M2 double flick. If you've learned Roux at any point, you should probably know how to do this one, because otherwise you would really suck at Roux. Check out this finger trick. So I'm going to do the U-turn and the R-turn with pinkies. Was that weird? Or is that actually really fast? Now here's another finger trick for the exact same alg. And when I do it fast, note that it's actually the exact same speed. All you have to do for your finger tricks is find what works for you. Here's a third way to do the exact same alg. And again, it is exactly the same speed. Now with this alg, I start with my thumb on the bottom, and then note how I have to re-grip in order to finish it off. However, if I started with my thumb on F and did the weird U-turn, then I wouldn't have to re-grip at all. Here's another one where by doing the awkward U-turn, I don't have to re-grip at all. When you learn an alg, the first step should be to know the moves, and the second is to get it into your muscle memory. But that's where a lot of people get it wrong. You need to get the correct finger tricks into your muscle memory in order to make the alg very fast and optimized. So, what makes finger tricks correct? Well, sometimes you have two sets of finger tricks, one with a regrip and one without a regrip. And if the one without a regrip is definitely faster, then of course that one is more correct. However, as I showed in the other example with 3 sets of finger tricks for the exact same alg, all being the same speed, it really doesn't matter which one you use. Whichever one works for you, whichever one you find is the most consistent, is the correct one. They all have 0 regrips, and they're all extremely fast. They were all not very intuitive to figure out. I used to get frustrated with certain OLL cases, or PLL cases, and I would think, why is there not a better alg for this? And I go look for it online, and I find a variety of algs, and they're all equally bad. But the more finger tricks you know, the more you can turn what looks like a bad alg into what is actually a great alg. Alright, well, I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. If you stick around to the end, you're going to see me do a solve by looking through the camera. Exciting. The rest of the video is pretty much just a bunch of random algs I picked with some random finger tricks to go with it. Well, I hope you learned something out of this. See you next time.